In this lesson, we will write the equation of a hyperbola given different pieces of information. So on the first one, we are just given the equation itself, and we need to rewrite it into standard form. We're going to do this very similarly to the way that we did it for an ellipse, but the main difference here is that because I know that there's a minus in between, I want to put the positive value of these two first. So I'm going to put my 5y squared minus 80y first, and then my minus 4x squared minus 40x equals negative 200. So again, I am collecting my y values together and my x values together, but because I want this term to be the negative term, I wrote it second. Now it's essentially what we did before. So I'm going to take a 5 out of both terms, which gives me y squared minus 16y plus blank. I'm going to take a negative 4 out of both terms, which gives me x squared plus 10x plus blank. And then I have negative 200 plus 5 times blank minus 4 times blank. To find the blanks, I take the b value, so negative 16, half of that squared, which is negative 8 squared, which is 64. 64 goes here, but the minus 8 goes here. On the other one, I have 10 divided by 2 squared, which is 5 squared, or 25. So 25 goes here, and x plus 5 goes here. In addition, the 64 goes here, and the 25 goes here. 5 times 64 is 320. Negative 4 times 25 is negative 100. So adding negative 200 and negative 100 plus 320 gives me 20. Again, just as before, I need this value to be 1, so I'm taking everything now divided by 20, and my result will be my equation in standard form. So I'll have y minus 8 quantity squared. Reducing the 5 and the 20 gave me 1 and 4, minus x plus 5 quantity squared. Reducing the 4 and 20 gave me 1 and 5. And then, of course, here I have a 1. So this is my equation in standard form. For this question, I'm given different information. So I am not given the equation, but I'm given vertices and I'm given asymptotes. So again, not a bad idea to be able to visualize what's happening. I know the vertices are at 3, 0 and at negative 3, 0, which tells me that since this distance is 3 and this distance of 3, the center must be 0, 0. Because these are vertices, it also tells me, again, because I'm going in the x direction, that my x value is going to come first and my y value second. This value of 3 is my a, so my a squared is 9. That will go here, again, because we know that the x value comes first. To find the b value, to find what goes here, I have to use the fact that the asymptote is y equals plus or minus radical 3 over x. The equation of my asymptote is plus or minus b over a x, which means that b over a is equal to radical 3. A is 3, so this is b over 3 equals radical 3, which means b must be 3 radical 3 by multiplying each side by 3. So this value, which should be b squared, needs to be 3 radical 3 squared. Squaring 3 gives me 9. Squaring radical 3 gives me 3. So that's 27. So the 27 would go here, and that's my new equation. In this question, again, I'm given the vertices, and I'm also given the foci. So that's going to help me with the c value. Again, not a bad idea to look at a graph. So at negative 9, 0, I have a vertice, and at 1, 0, I have a vertice. The distance between those two is 10, so that means 2a is equal to 10. so A is equal to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in, that's my center at -4, 0, halfway between -9 and 1. Again, A is 5. So again, I know because my vertices are going horizontally that the x would go first. So it's going to be x minus -4, which is x plus 4, quantity squared. The y value of the center is 0, so it's just y squared. And we know that my a value is 5, so a squared is 25. Oh, that should be a minus. I apologize for that. Now the only thing left to do is to find the b value. And the b value, I'm going to have to use the c value to help me find it. So if my foci are at -17, 0, and 9, 0, then I know that from this point, I had to go 13 units this way and 13 units this way. So that means C is 13. So I'm going to use C squared equals A squared plus B squared, which means 13 squared, which is 169, A squared, which is 25, plus B squared. If I subtract, I get 144 equals B squared, so that value goes here. B is 12, but honestly that doesn't really matter, we just needed the B squared value. Here's one for you to try on your own, so press pause, try the question, then press play to check your work. Again, looking at these two, I see that the y value is negative, so I'm going to put that second. So I've got 3x squared plus 30x minus 7y squared plus 56y equals, adding that 58 over gives me positive 58. I'm going to take a 3 out of the first two terms, which gives me x squared plus 10x plus blank. I'm going to take a -7 out of my next two terms, that's y squared plus 8y, minus 8y plus blank equals 58, and then plus 3 times blank minus 7 times blank. Again, the 3 and the 7 coming from here. Taking half of 10, which is 5, and squaring it gives me 25. That value was 5, so it's 3x plus 5 quantity squared. Taking half of -8 is -4, squared is 16, so the 16 goes in both of these places, but the 4 goes here. 3 times 25 is 75. 7 times 16 is -112. Adding 58, 75, and -112 gives me 21. Dividing all three terms by 21 gives me x plus 5 quantity squared over 7 minus y minus 4 quantity squared over 3 equals 1. And that's my final answer.